Hi! Welcome back to the VNBG channel. As the country continues to integrate internationally, proficiency in English becomes increasingly critical. Fluency can open doors to academic and professional opportunities. At the same time, Vietnam is experiencing a golden population structure period with a sizable labor force. To boost employability, Vietnamese people urgently require English skills. This high demand spans across demographics, from parents enrolling children in early language programs to working professionals taking certification courses. The national emphasis on English is creating an ideal climate for growth. Therefore, the future is bright for English training centers in Vietnam. And today, we will talk about everything you need to know when setting up an English training center in Vietnam. Let's check it out. To open an English training center, you must first register a business entity or a corporate with the appropriate business code in your license. This is subject to the Department of Planning and Investment, as known as DPI, approval. The second stage is to apply for a specific license provided by the Department of Education known as a Certificate of Registration for opening a foreign language center. After acquiring this license, your business can officially start its operation. Sounds pretty generic and vague, doesn't it? Don't worry, we will find out more specific steps to set up this type of business right now. Let's go. To operate a foreign language or English training center, you must first obtain two licenses, the IRC, known as Investment Registration Certificate, and the BRC, which means Business Registration Certificate. In addition, your company's IRC must include the business code CPC 929 and VSIC 8559. The good thing is, the educational service business is covered by the WTO's commitment. As a result, it is open to 100% international investment. However, because the Foreign Language Center is a conditional business, you must complete the detailed requirements listed below. Next, to establish a business, we cannot lack investment capital. According to the law, English centers are classed as short-term language training and retraining institutions and must have at least an investment capital rate of VND 20 million, which means around $800 per student. The minimum investment capital is estimated based on the highest expected scale. If you partner with an existing Vietnamese company that already has the physical infrastructure, your initial investment capital which you need to register can be a minimum of 70% of the amount stated above. When you register a business in Vietnam, you must have a business address where your company will be located. This address might be virtual or physical for many businesses. However, for an English center establishment, you must use a physical address, which means a virtual office does not work. If you lease an office or a building for your business, you must ensure that the area utilized for learning and teaching is at least 2.5 SQM per student and that you have a leasing term of a minimum of 5 years. Furthermore, your facilities must include spaces for the board of directors, leaders, classrooms, libraries, and other functional areas. Finally, the institution must provide adequate classroom lighting, furniture, equipment, and teaching aids. Keep in mind all the above requirements when searching for a business location for your English center. The good thing is, we can assist you in finding suitable facilities and working with the lessor on your behalf to save both time and resources. All firms in Vietnam must also have at least one legal representative. This position could be filled by a Vietnamese native or a foreigner, including you. They must, however, obtain a permanent address to be declared citizens. In any case, if you are not in Vietnam or do not have suitable personnel to be your legal representative, you can consider employing a VNBG nominee director for 6 months before sending your candidate or hiring one of your own. The trainers, teachers, on the other hand, must meet certain qualifications. All teaching employees must have a college degree or equivalent, as well as training in a discipline relevant to their designated teaching profession. The English training facility must maintain a trainer or trainee ratio of 0:1 teacher for a maximum of 25 students. If you have foreign teachers teaching in your facilities, the Ministry of Education and Training must be acknowledged their degrees, qualifications, and you must obtain a work permit for them. The processing time for registering an English training center in Vietnam typically takes 3 to 4 weeks. However, if your application is challenged or questioned regarding its practicality, a few extra weeks will be added until DPI's concerns are addressed. You can find out all the information about this part in the video 10 steps to get your company opened and ready to run in Vietnam. Once your company is registered, you will need to apply for the certificate of registration for opening a foreign language center. To apply for this sublicense, you will need to fill out an application form and submit it to the Department of Education. The application form will require you to provide information about your company, your facilities, and your teaching staff. The Department of Education will then send civil servants to inspect your facilities to see if they meet the aforementioned standards. The inspection process can take several weeks, and you may be required to provide additional documentation. If the inspection is successful, the Department of Education will issue you a certificate of registration for opening a foreign language center. This certificate will allow you to begin operations. The approval and completion of the application will take around a month, but in fact the inspection would result in much further delay due to the extra documentation and additional requests from the government. If you are unable to meet the requirements for setup now, don't worry, VNBG always has solutions for you. Contact us and we can guide you along the way and show you the best option that fits your budget and situation. Or find more details in the description box below and can click subscribe for future updates from Vietnam Business Gateway.